recording the album was a bit like riding a bike, really. You know, we as soon as we started working on the songs, it was it quickly came back. You know, once you knew how to play them and get the sound again. And recording them was great because there's bits you add on, you know, to the album, the songs that you never did originally. And I think one of the problems that whilst everyone likes the Berserk album, a lot of the problems we have with it, a lot of the, certainly from a guitar point of view, were hidden, you know, they got lost on the mix and stuff, so there's a chance to correct all that, which was great. So the live record you've got is definitely more guitar orientated and a bit more like the band we're all about, really.
I remember at the time when we did the album, I remember there was a lot more guitar. It was a much more guitar oriented album for me. Then, you know, over time you kind of forget that. And when we started playing the Berserk live set again, I remember listening to what Jay was playing and thinking, well, you know, I'm sure this album was this heavy at the time. You know, it was far more guitar kind of stuff going on. And then when we went to the studio and listened to what we recorded, I just couldn't believe it was the same band, to be honest. You know, but those guitar parts were always there. You know, they were always there. It's just I think you maybe couldn't hear them on the album, but
we didn't play them.
Well, I didn't actually play guitar on the album, so yeah, it's probably they're wrong on the album. That's what it was. But no, I mean, you know, the Berserk live album is much more. You know, I mean, we're a guitar band. We always have been. Well, that is actually true. I mean, it was probably 20 years. I mean, we didn't realise this at the time, but just before we started the tour, we thought, well, you know, it's 20 years since we've done this.
And what we realised was that we can't actually do more than 2 nights in a row. That's what it actually. The realisation was that you can't do more than two gigs in a row before you actually get and pause and in and out of shambles. So we used to do 16 dates in a row. When you're nearly 50, you can't do that anymore. So yeah, we managed. I think there was a few breaks, but yeah, it was great. But you know, everything else. People say how much the music industry's changed. At the end of the day, as a live band, you know, there's nothing better than that. You get up there and that's it. You know, it's you and you know what you know as a band and playing your instruments and the audience, and it's as real as that, and that's exactly how it should be. And from that point of view, it was great. You know, you actually see that 1960s, 1970s, 2011, whatever it is, there's no big change really. You know, it's still good gig, bad gig, and that's what live music's all about.
At the end of the day, you know, I mean, the whole Berserk period was obviously a golden period for us. But I don't, you know, I remember one or two things, but you know, for various reasons, I can honestly, you know, I can honestly look back and say I don't have many fond memories of that tour. Really, you know, it was hard work. The pressures that are on you then when, you know, the album's out and stuff, and it's in the, you know, it's in the top 40, are immense. This tour was nice because we just went out with, you know, a few friends, and you know, there was no kind of bullshit or none of that. We just went out and played the songs for what they were, and we really enjoyed doing it. And and there's Carl Sentence over there, so it was great. Well, I you know, it was inevitable, to be honest. I mean, you know, when the band first got back together in '96, obviously we discussed this, but you know, I mean, we felt at the time that, I mean, we were pretty much testing the water, you know. I mean, the first time we spoke to Jay, he said, well, you know, maybe if we put a website together and see, you know, if there's any interest. So we did that. And then I remember Pepsi saying to me, well, you know, let's do an album, but I will, you know, I can never imagine going out and doing a gig. So, you know, it was just one step at a time. And at the time we just thought, well, you know, Ace lives on the other side of the country, as he always did, and logistically, it was a difficult thing to do. And because really none of us thought, you know, it would probably lead to nothing, you know, anything special, we just decided to get in, you know, we thought we would get any old drummer in who's, up the road, and that's what we pretty much did. But obviously, as time goes past, things have gone, a lot better for us than we thought they ever would. And we're at the stage now where we thought, well, we're kind of conning people really. Ace is there, people are saying, why isn't Ace in the band? And I think when we got Sarah in the band, we've always been very conscious, it's a Welsh thing, we've tried to keep things, pretty much in-house. But when Sarah came along, we thought, well, actually, this can work, with somebody who lives so far away. And I suppose with Ace, it was just a natural progression. I mean, we were rehearsing in London, and Jay said to me, well, there's no reason not to have Ace in the band now. And we thought, well, yeah, it's what we want, it's what everybody wants, so here it is.
Yeah, we're here tonight to announce we're going to play the Steelhouse Festival on Saturday the 20th of August. That'll be Ace's first gig, so it's
just over by there in the corner.
So it's the first chance for everyone to see the original lineup back together, and we're really excited about it. If we could be about the fact that it's the gigs in Wales as well, so. It's a double bubble for us, we've got the original line back together and the first gig we're playing is back in Wales, so couldn't be happier from that point. It's great.
Well, we've obviously for a while now, I mean in truth for the last couple of years we've been talking to Ace. I mean I never lost contact with Ace, we've been talking to Ace for the last few years, and we in truth we have rehearsed before in the past with Ace. And now the time is right to do it. And a few months ago I thought, wouldn't it be, the gig has to be in Wales. The first gig with Ace Finchum has to be in Wales. This is where the band started. We're Welsh. It must be in Wales. And then miraculously, the Steelhouse Festival came along, and Jay said, well, this is all falling into place. It couldn't be better. So. There was a few negotiations, and we're at the Steelhouse Festival. So, we're back in Wales. So there. Well, we've all been writing for a few years now. We're very conscious that we need a new album. We're very conscious that the album must be the best album we've ever made, unless there's no point in making it. Especially with Pepsi not being here anymore, because he was such a massive part of, the songwriting process and everything. So, we've been writing for a few years now, and there's many, many, many songs finished, which we're happy with. Of course, now Ace has come along, we're kind of, well, this is Tigertailz as much as it can be, so maybe we should, have a rethink on the songwriting. So.
I think it's a good point actually. One of the things that I'm very, very conscious of is that we're writing as a band, but myself, Kim and Pepsi were the main songwriters, and obviously Pepsi's not here anymore. So the next album, there's definitely an apprehension to commit to. At some point, you've got to commit. I think there's an apprehension, a resistance to commit at the moment to say, right, this is what it is, because it's like the scene changes so often, and the song, the kind of in type of song changes from what the band should sound like and stuff. So we've got loads of songs written, but as Kim says, where exactly the correct direction should be and what the song should be like. I don't think we've really hit on that yet. We've got a lot of great songs, but we're kind of a bit worried that we could actually create an album that it doesn't sound what people expect us to sound like, and we love that sort of stuff, but we're obviously mindful that there's an expectation from fans' point of view, how the sort of songs they're expecting from it. So if we suddenly turn into Slayer or whatever, because we're perfectly capable of playing that kind of stuff. I think there's a lot of bands that can't change what they sound like, but we can. I think that's one of our biggest, it's almost a problem with this band, is that we've got so much diversity within it in terms of what we're into, that it's very easy to go from a Love Bob Baby type song to Dial track or Master of Puppets track. So there's a huge scope there that we write songs across that board. So if we're going to commit to a record, we have to be sure that we're all kind of comfortable. And Ace coming back into the band suddenly gives it a different dynamic where you suddenly think, well, actually, we've got all these songs that we're really happy about, but is that what the band should be sounding like? So
I think that's the thing. I think you can always try and second guess people, and we've been writing for the last couple of years, and it's kind of like the Wasbones kind of thing. The band's much heavier. But then now, you need to take a step back and think, well, Ace Finchum's back in the band. People kind of expect a certain thing, and you can try and be clever, but at the end of the day, you need to give people what they want. So I think, with Ace back in the band, what we need to do is kind of think, well, this is essentially as close to the preserved lineup as we can get, and people will expect one thing, and that's. I'm sure everyone will be pleased, and that's the direction we should go in. But, so I think we'll start writing again, and maybe put the album on hold for a few months. But I think when you try and be clever and try and go a bit out there, it just doesn't work. People want to rock and roll night, and that's it, really.
A lot of bands get criticised for sounding the same. It's one of the biggest criticisms a lot of bands have. Whether it's Kiss, Metallica, Status Quo, whatever. But AC/DC being the prime example, it's the hardest thing in the world to write songs that sound the same. It sounds easy, but believe you me, it's not. It's incredibly difficult to maintain your kind of sound, because the natural thing that any writer wants to do is to kind of diversify, and it's like an artist or writer or whatever. So it's very hard to rein that in and say, right, we sound, this is what the band's audience expects, and we operate within these sort of rail track, and we tend to be always shooting off in different directions, which, as Kim says, sounds clever and you can do it, but with Ace back in the band, we're not sure that's what actually people want to hear. So we might have 60 songs we've all written that we think are great, but quite frankly, I'm not sure a lot of hardcore Tails fans want to hear those songs, is ultimately what it comes down to.
Solo album. That's what he's saying.
I think the solo album's going to be great. Definitely.
This is Kim Hooker.
And Jay Pepper.
And you're watching AMPED. How's that, fella?